Hi, I'm Natalie. Thank you for stopping by. I sell vintage and pre-loved designer accessories at styledunder.com. My channel is all about sustainability, slow fashion, as well as health and wellness. If this is your first time here, welcome. I drop videos 2 days a week, every Mondays and Wednesdays, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Today, we're talking about how to use your Louis Vuitton date code to help you confirm authenticity. If you love vintage handbags, then you're very familiar with date codes and serial numbers as a way to help confirm that an item is not a fake. It's definitely something that you check when you're purchasing a bag secondhand. In this video, we're gonna go into a lot of details about how to recognize, interpret, validate the date code that is inside your Louis Vuitton bag or any other Louis Vuitton, leather goods or accessories that come with date codes to help you make sure that the item that you have is authentic and not a fake. Since the early 80s up until March 2021, Louis Vuitton has included a date code in the items that they make. Most small leather goods, accessories, and bags will have a date code included in them. Unlike Chanel bags, Louis Vuitton date codes are not specific to that item. The date code, as an example, the date code that goes with this item is not going to be a date code that you only find in this item ever. A serial number on the other end is a number that is specific to the item that you're holding. So if you have a Chanel item, like this Chanel item, for instance, it's a coin purse, there's a serial number inside of this coin purse that only belongs to this item. There's no other item on the market that's gonna have this serial number in it. Two items could have the same date code if they're manufactured in the same location at the same time. A date code alone is not something that you can use to verify authenticity. There are lots of different factors that go into verifying whether a bag is a real bag or a fake. I made another video about how to spot a fake bag, and this video was a result of me actually purchasing a bag that ended up being a fake. Since then, I've learned so much about how to verify authenticity for Louis Vuitton bags, so I'm sharing from experience because I myself have been burned. So a lot of these tips that I'm sharing are things that I currently use and that I have had to learn to become better at being able to recognize a fake versus a real bag. I'm gonna attach that video here if you haven't seen it so you can go and check it out. It goes into a lot more details about other factors that you wanna consider when looking to verify authenticity, but this video is specifically about how to use the date code to help you in that process, but the date code itself is not the only thing you want to look at to make sure that your bag is authentic. A Louis Vuitton date code consists of letters and numbers that tell you about the location, the year, the week, when the item was made. So it's all about where was this item manufactured? That is basically the question that the date code answers. Where was this item made? Also, it's important to clarify that unlike Chanel bags, Louis Vuitton bags or items do not come with an authenticity card. So if you're looking to purchase a Louis Vuitton item and someone tells you they have an authenticity card, you should run. Much like most brands, Louis Vuitton is an evolving brand. That means that things change over the years. This whole concept of the date code is not something that always existed, even though they've been making, goods since the 1800s. It's not until the 1980s that Louis Vuitton introduced the idea of a date code. Date codes have changed over the years and typically include both a factory location, a month, year, or week and year combination of when the bag was made. Before 1982, Louis Vuitton did not use a date code. They started using 3 to 4 digit codes to show the year and month in which the item was made. From the mid to late 80s, they started using letters in the date code. These letters basically tell you the location where the item was made. The first 2 numbers tell you the year, and the last 1 to 2 numbers show you the month, followed by the country. From 1990 to 2006, the date code system was changed again. The letters that showed the location of the country were moved to the front of the date code. The first and third number tell you the month, and the second and fourth tell you the year. From 2007 to 2021, the date code format changed again. This time, Louis Vuitton took away the month of manufacturing and changed it to the week of manufacturing. The first and third number indicate the week that the item was made, and the second and fourth number indicate the year that the item was made. So first and third, week, second and fourth, year. And the letters tell you the location or the country where it was made. Now let's talk about the countries. Louis Vuitton bags can be made in a host of countries. Typically they're made in France, but there are other places where these items are made. And when I say made, I mean manufactured. I'm sure some of these items are made in other countries, but this is basically where they are assembled, where the actual bag is put together. That's what Louis Vuitton claims as the manufacturing location. In addition to France, your bag could also be made in Spain, in Italy, in Switzerland, right here in the US, as well as in Germany. It's helpful to know what the letters mean in terms of what country they correspond to, so that when you're purchasing a vintage bag or a pre-loved bag, you have somewhat of a basic understanding of country per letter, so that you can easily, reference whether this bag that you're trying to purchase has a code that matches one of the countries where Louis Vuitton bags are made. If you see a code on there that doesn't match one of the countries, then you know that that code is not a good code. It's not a real code, which means that the bag is most likely a fake. You can always, print it out and store it somewhere if you're going to meet somebody to purchase a bag, or if you're looking to purchase a bag online, just pull it out and just look at your list of countries and look at the code and just look to make sure that everything is matching. I certainly don't have all of that stuff memorized. You will typically find your date code on the interior lining of your bag. Most of the time it's going to be near the pocket inside of your bag, or on the side lining of your bag, or inside the handles of your bag. Sometimes it's in the front of your bag. So depending on the item, the date code can be really anywhere. That's what makes it so interesting. So you have to know where the date code is located for the specific bag that you're looking at. So that's the other thing. If the date code is not where it should be, that should, be a red flag for you, because for each bag, Louis Vuitton will have the date code in a specific location, and they're always slightly hidden. They're not obvious. Some of them require a little bit of digging to get to them. It's typically going to be found on a leather tab stitched to the lining of the bag. Let me show you a couple. So for this clutch, it's on the lining. It's right here. I know that was hard to see, but it's basically right here is where the stamp is. I want to show you another one. For the Alma, it's going to be in the back pocket. When you pull out the pocket, it's going to be stitched to a piece of leather all the way in the back pocket. Sometimes it's on the exterior leather strap, close to the hinge. A lot of times the crossbodies, that's where you will be able to find it. Sometimes it's engraved to the fabric of the bag. For the wallet, you can typically find it on the inner edge of the note compartments. And for the agendas, it's typically under the flap, again, closest to the seam. So the seams, the sides, and the pockets are good places to start. Now, if they're not there, then check the straps. Keep in mind that some older models, again, prior to 1982, do not have date codes embedded onto the item. So just because your item does not have a date code does not necessarily mean that it's a fake. It's also when the date code is not burned onto the leather. Sometimes when it's foil that was used to add the date code, the foil can easily come off over time if it's an older item. So if the item has washed off from cleaning or from use over the years and it's been removed, it doesn't necessarily mean that the item is a fake. When the item is burned onto the leather, when it's embossed, it's gonna be more likely to stay put. But when an item is printed with the foil, which we call foil stamping, those are gonna be more likely to come off over time. So just keep that in mind when deciding, whether the item washed off with use or if the item is just missing the date code. Foil stamping is basically applying a sheet of colored foil and with heat and adding that code onto the item with the heat. From 2021 until now, Louis Vuitton made another change to its date code where it's no longer using this format that it was using before to tell you about where it was made and when it was made. They've changed that entire format and moved to something a little bit more like progressive with regards to technology. So now they're using a chip. As of March 1st, 2021, all Louis Vuitton bags or small leather goods manufactured no longer have the Louis Vuitton physical date code. Instead of their hot stamp or embossed date code, microchips have been introduced by the brand, mainly to stop fakes. The microchips do not track you or reveal any personal information about you. They're basically embedded inside very discreetly so that they can be easily scanned when you take your item to the Louis Vuitton boutique for repairs. I know when people hear microchips, they get a little creeped out, but they don't reveal any personal information about you or compromise your privacy. They're basically held on a private blockchain only accessible to Louis Vuitton. The coolest thing about these chips is that they cannot be modified and they cannot be copied and they cannot be faked. So for items that are made from 2021 onward, it's going to be a lot harder for counterfeits to actually have a chance, because this new way of, basically ensuring that the bag was authentically made by Louis Vuitton is so progressive with the technology that it's not something that they can replicate, in the counterfeit world. If you have any questions about authenticity, specifically regarding the date code, let me know. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it the thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to my channel for videos every Mondays and Wednesdays. You can shop my pre-loved and vintage designer accessories at styledunder.com and connect with me on social media at styledunder25. Until next time, take care of yourself. Au revoir.